Welcome to episode 2 of Life After the Show.
We have a name.
Yeah. We were the no-name podcast for the first episode, but after a few combos with ChatGPT and Harrison, we came up with Life After the Show. So has a good ring to it. I think it's easy to have some imagery of what that's like, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on. If you guys don't know, Harrison Nevel, kind of co-hosting here and there, helping Clint kind of go with the flow with social media, because that's my expertise. If you don't know, I make content specifically a lot on shoes, which Clint has a lot behind us. So we were back home in Atlanta, and we were in Bristol, Tennessee, and so this episode is going to be home base.
Yeah, no, we were in the middle of a pickleball tournament whenever we did this. This podcast came together quickly, right? I can't believe that it went as well as it did in the first episode because, I had like a small vision, then you came in, you like I said to you the other day, like you're the heartbeat of this podcast with everything that you're doing. So as far as like viewership and whatnot, like thank this guy. He's going to be the reason that you guys get the show that you get to see. So with that being said, it was a great first episode, so we're aiming to top that every single time. I mean, I think that the one thing that you guys can expect from this podcast is it's going to be very authentic. It's probably going to be a little bit informative and hopefully not too biased. So, we've got some things we'll get into, and we'll see what this episode turns out to be like.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of give it a little more structure this time around, because obviously with this podcast, if you didn't watch episode 1, go watch that one. Clint, former MLB baseball player, me, social media. It's going to be a lot of baseball. That's going to be like the main focus. Yankees specifically, that's like a big topic of conversation. And I feel like people want to hear insight from Clint on. But we have a lot of, we're hearing from you guys. We're getting tweets. We got the Reddit page. We're hearing from you guys. So we're going to be talking some hot takes. We're going to be going over clip reaction. We're going to have Clint react to some of the, most viral clips from baseball this week. And that's what we're kind of wanting to go into is more like that. We want to get the viral stuff. One of the most talked about things this past week, I would have to say, is to talk about Boone. There's a lot, when you talked about that last week, there was a lot of conversations. We clipped it, clip farmed it, and a lot of people are talking about it. So let's talk about that after the fact, because we talked about off camera. How's that going after?
Look, I got slightly into the Boone stuff, and I feel like I finally said what, or confirmed, I think, what people had been thinking. Everyone has an opinion of what's going on in that organization, whether you love them or hate them. And, I don't think there's been too many people to kind of come out and just be like, hey, this is what I experienced, because ultimately that's the perspective I'm giving is my own experience. So take it for what you want. But we did kind of get into the Boone debacle and just kind of like talk about how the game is managed and kind of the things that he's given to the car, like the keys to the car. Is he actually driving the car, or is it like a Tesla that's in autopilot, just taking him where it's supposed to go? So that's one thing that we will get into, and obviously, I think it's going to be a topic that continues to come up as far as Boone and Cashman still being the two guys that are the face of the team right now.
And wasn't there some conversation this week with Cashman, Boone, him supporting Boone kind of thing? Like,
yeah,
did we get into that?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I saw something along the lines of Cashman showing support for Boone during the times like these, and basically saying that they have to have urgency right now because the season. I mean, dude, we're in August. Like there's not much longer in the season to get hot, and obviously they're in a position right now where they are in a playoff wild card spot. Mm-hmm. So they are in the driver's seat right now, right? So one thing that I said to Harrison off camera was that when Boone comes out, or Cashman comes out and gives support to Boone, low key, I kind of feel like that's like self-preservation a little bit, because Cashman is the guy that's controlling all of this. And obviously, like, I know his resume is insane, like most wins as a current GM. He's got 4 World Series. He's done a lot. So, like, you can't just disregard the things that he's done and think it's just nonsense. But when he gives the, I guess, confidence boost in Boone, I was saying to him, like, dude, like, he's kind of got to, because Boone's the guy that's the front line of defense right now. And that's one way to say, like, I brought this guy in and I have to support this guy because this is my guy. Ultimately, like, Boone's just, like, I guess Cashman's, like, shadow a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes into your conversation what we even talked about in the first episode. There's a part of that that I want to go into that you touched on. So playoffs are coming. Do you foresee the Yankees making it? So right now they're what, number three, the third spot in the wild card, and they're like
Yeah,
a
like
game and
one
a
and a
half up.
half. Yeah, one and a
Yeah,
half games up from I think Cleveland's the closest behind them. Yeah, I think they make it. I do. I mean, I don't think that like this is a team that is bad. I think that like this is a team that's going through it a little bit. Obviously, they have injuries. They have like really good players that can do crazy things per game. It's just, you're waiting for some of those things to happen sometimes. And that's why teams get kind of cold is because, there's certain things that they're heavy hitting. It's a heavy hitting lineup. So you're going to live and die by a strikeout. You're going to live and die by home runs. So when the strikeouts are piling up and the home runs aren't falling with it, it's like the games get long. So I think they'll find it. I mean, I think they have a really good team, but there's other topics that as we get into this podcast episode that we can talk about that might be the reason that they don't make the playoffs if they don't, in my own personal opinion. So, and that's analytically driven lineups and defensive positioning and just a lot of things that go into the reason why a game gets won or lost.
yeah. I mean, we've been writing down some things, trying to map out and adopt the episode because we want to make sure that you guys get what you want. It's like that's why we want to keep asking you guys to send tweets, hit the Reddit if you haven't already. And so there's, what, do you have something to say?
No, no, no. It's like there's so like I've
There's so
gotten
much.
thousands of replies in the last few days of things that people want to be spoken about, so it's hard to get it all in there, but there are ones that stick out that keep reoccurring.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, did you want to get any more into Cashman, like the history and all that? Because I know that's what we talked about before the podcast.
Look, Cashman's my guy off the field. Like we had many times where we hung out for short periods of time. I mean, dude, we fielded like ground balls together during COVID in Tampa. Like we would just go to the field and there was nobody there, and there was like nine of us that would show up, and Cash would like come out and field ground balls with us at shortstop, and so like it was like that's a little bit of a different view that you get of the dude. So like we did on a personal level, like we did have good camaraderie and like we got along and we made each other laugh. But I'm not like being overly critical of him or trying to like take away anything that he's ever accomplished. I'm just saying that like given the circumstances of him publicly supporting Boone, it is like, yo, like you kind of got to do that because he's the guy that you put there. And if he's the guy that you put there, then it falls on you. So you've got to back him during this time if you're not going to fire him. So, like, I think he's the right guy for the job. I think both of them are really good. And obviously, right now, it's like you guys get to see what happens every single night based off decisions that are under the hood that maybe you guys don't really know a lot about.
And what I would assume and what I've seen, because now that I've gotten in this sphere researching stuff for this, there's tweets from the Yankees all over my Twitter feed now. It's all, I'm not even
It's
kidding. My
everywhere.
whole feed is
It's
Yankees stuff
everywhere,
now.
bro. Yeah.
And the heat hasn't come off of Boone. It doesn't seem like, because I saw some people saying that this week the teams that you guys beat were like a AAA team, wasn't any like accomplishment of a win. And so they're still being hypercritical, even though they've got some wins out there. So I don't know. That's what I've seen this week. It hasn't really kind of slowed down on Boone.
It's not going to, bro. Unless they go out there and they get extremely hot and Booney does some stuff where people are like, that was sorcery, dude. He outmanaged the other guy on the other team. That was all the right decisions. Like, unless he starts doing things that make people sit there and be like, damn, like, okay, I'm seeing a change right now. I'm seeing that we're ahead of the game versus like being behind the eight ball, like throwing guys consistently in innings that they just blew the game before, and they're having career worst seasons where it's like you kind of get to the point where some of the moves that he's making in the middle of the game feel like these are like statement moves where it's like we're trying to show you guys that we were right, so we're going to keep doing it, and then you get it wrong, and it becomes a blatant thing to talk about because again, like there's so many situations in these seasons where games come down to like the final week of the season and you need to make sure that you hadn't like tripped over your own tail like walking into it with bad decisions because ultimately the decisions that they're doing in the middle of the season are the decisions that more than likely they'll be doing in the middle of the playoffs. And if
True.
they're costly in the regular season, it's going to be way more under the microscope and way more costly in the playoffs because games are won by instances that happen so fast. So you got to make sure that you're buttoned up and you're ready to go. And when you start firing from the hip, I feel like with some of these decisions, it becomes just kind of like a mockery of what every guy's out there trying to do, which is play baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. And on that topic, as we bring up the World Series, are there any teams outside of the Yankees that you're watching baseball and you're thinking these guys, this could be the one this year?
Bro, the way the Brewers are playing right now, they're going crazy.
They're the ones that are game and a half. No, that's the Guardians are game and a half back. Where are the Brewers? They're in first place.
I don't even know, like,
Let's look.
I don't know. I know they're in first place.
Yeah,
I don't know how far ahead they are in first place. We're checking right now.
yeah.
But like I think I saw something that they were 28-5. That's not, don't quote me exactly, but it's along those lines in their last like 30 games. So
Let's see. Where are we at? The Brewers are 77-44 right now. They are almost 9 games ahead right now,
they're hot.
which is solid. I mean, their division, they got the Cubs, the Reds, not some crazy heavy hitter teams, but league wide, who's leading right now is going to be Toronto Blue Jays for the AL, and then you got the Milwaukee Brewers for the NL. So
I think a sleeper team in there is the Tigers, man. Like
they're tied for first in the AL.
those dudes are young. Their bullpen has absolute freaks that come out of it. Some of these pitchers are like designed in a lab, and that's the other thing that we can get into is that they have underlying metrics that just stand out so much as a pitcher where maybe this dude throws 25 inches of vertical break, which means it feels like it's if you're standing in the box like this, you're used to a pitch being right here, but when they have high vertical break, you almost have to imagine that the pitch is really like right here because it has so much backspin that it's spinning upwards that if you get under the ball, you're going to pop it up. So you almost have to get down on the ball. And the thing that those guys do so well is they have so many different angles of pitchers that come in that are just a different look. And they're freaks. They throw gas, bro. They have banging curveballs. They go out there, they do their role. And AJ Hinch is a guy that is making these people feel really comfy there because the Tigers just got hot quick.
Yeah, them, the Jays, Brewers, and the Phillies are the top four right now, and then you got the Dodgers. The Dodgers are kind of falling back a little bit.
They've been struggling, but they're gonna be fine.
The super team.
They're gonna be so fine.
Freddie Freeman in the playoff.
They'll be in the playoffs.
Walk-off grand slam.
Good luck.
Thanks for taking him from the Braves.
Good luck.
Sad excuse of a team for the Braves this year, even though they beat the Mets. You know something we haven't really brought up? Do you have any opinions on Juan Soto going to the Mets? I know that happened a long time ago, but that's a big because a lot of people are saying he hasn't done anything crazy since leaving the Yankees, like a moment of like a walk-off. He did have that no-hitter breakup home run, but like besides that, there hasn't been much with that insanely massive contract.
Him going there was crazy. That was a crazy move for his personal life. That was a crazy move for his professional life, but for his personal life, that's essentially accepting that you're gonna deal with absolute hell for the next X amount of years of that contract, and whoever's associated with you might go through it as well. Because, dude, going from the Yankees to the Mets, like you can't like guys can't sit there and just like be super upset because he got so much money to go there. It's life-changing money. So obviously that was something that was probably priority for him.
Yeah.
But to go right down the street is the biggest slap in the face to all of those fans that supported him because now they're thinking like, what the hell? Like we had Judge, we had Soto, we could have gone to the moon. Like that's Jeter, A-Rod. That's Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth. That's like you got greats next to each other that can propel a team because ultimately they went to the World Series. So to dip out
Before getting it,
dip out, I mean, I can't help but think that there were some things that maybe prevented him from wanting to go back there. Personal things that maybe he doesn't want to deal with that ultimately become deterrents of a team being the reason you want to go there. I saw something where he had a problem with one of the, again, don't super quote me, but I'm pretty sure it was like somebody with the personal like team security stuff. And I can't imagine that those guys were bad to him because I know those dudes personally and they would run through a brick wall for these players. But I saw something like that, so it could be just stupid excuses they get put out into the atmosphere to like create a little bit of dust. to deter your thoughts from why he actually went there. But that was crazy. And to not make the All-Star game the next year, that's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, he had a rough start too. It was like hypercritical. I mean, again, as an outside Braves fan, I don't love the Mets. The Mets are not my favorite. The Yankees, I don't have that feeling. The Mets, don't like him. And then when he goes there, gets paid all that money, and I see him not perform well, I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I mean, for me as just a fan, again, Braves suck this year, so it doesn't really matter. But this is just like the rivalry side. It's the Mets and the Phillies are like the two that are like the Braves fans.
I saw people saying that he was older than he is recently on
Like he's
Twitter.
lying about his age.
Yeah,
Why would
coming out and really questioning the fact that is he the age that he says, and they were something along the lines of he doesn't look like a 26-year-old
I mean,
should.
I feel like he looks older than I do.
He hasn't
30.
played like a 26-year-old should. And I mean that in a good way. Like he's gone insane. His numbers are insane.
Prior to this year or now?
Career.
Career.
Career. To get the contract he did, the numbers have to be insane.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got to be the best player of all times in their eyes, basically, to say we're going to give you that much money.
and I know it's kind of old news to talk about it, but it is something that like happened while we weren't doing this, and that number of contract to me, like to me, I get it with Otani, like he's bringing an entire culture and entire country with him. With Soto, it's like you're going across the pond to the Mets. It's like you're not. I feel like you're not bringing an entire new fan base. You're gonna lose people, in my opinion, more than you're gonna gain in that. I don't know. That whole thing is crazy, and I'm curious to see who's gonna be that next player who gets that like life-changing contract, game-changing.
But here's the thing. There's both teams are not doing well right now. They were doing really well at the beginning of their seasons, and now both of them are in situations where they're looking around the room. Someone's thinking, "Who's gonna get this going again? Like
Yeah.
who? Like we got to get this going because people are getting tired out there. Like I know from experience that when you show up to a stadium or any stadium in New York, they're loud, they're on your side, but when you turn them against you and they start like booing you and you feel like you're at an away game when you're really at home, that's when you feel what depression and anxiety feels like. And so I can't imagine.
I can't imagine him being back for the first time in the New York Stadium, the Yankee Stadium, and then just being in that outfield and the chirping. Like somebody had to have recorded because I know those fans were
They all
just
turned
going
around.
at him.
When he went to the outfield, they turned their backs on him and wouldn't look at him whenever he was running out. So
Excuse my ignorance. How long was he in New York?
I think it was a season. A season.
So it wasn't that,
I think it was a season, man.
so he wasn't like that legacy player. Like a Freddie Freeman from the Braves, he's there his entire career and then he leaves. He comes back, everybody's sad and mad at the same time. Soto wasn't like there for his entire career.
Again, if I was Juan Soto, I would have signed back with that team. You get put in a situation where the amount of money that you have and you're 26 years old, you're fucking God there. You can do whatever the fuck you want. To go across the city and play for the Mets, like, no disrespect to that team at all. But man, you put a target on your back and there are snipers in the stands and they're waiting for him to fuck up. That's really what it's coming down to, is that he's being watched for the wrong reasons. It's not like we want to go out there and see him hit 7 homers. It's we want to go out there and see 7 strikeouts so we can chirp him one more time because he didn't come back to our team. And that's where it gets pretty tough.
I mean, are we talking like, do you think the discrepancy in the contract offer between the Yankees and the Mets was at least $100 million? Like, do you think it was off that much?
I don't even know.
You don't know what happens behind the scenes.
I don't, yeah.
But it's
I
like,
don't.
I'm trying to think of it as like, it had to be substantially different for him to pick that, right? If it's within, it's $25 million at $700 million, is that really? Unless he just person just like didn't want to be
go
there. Yeah, he didn't want to be there.
Go there. That's another thing that it comes down to is you have Francisco Lindor over there, Pete Alonso. You have other players that you can sit and think that this team's going to be really fucking good. And the other thing comes down to is a player like that, he knows what the fuck is going on behind those scenes too. Again, everything that I keep alluding to that we will get to, he knows what's going on. And so, I mean, man, how I don't know why leave a team after you get to the World Series. I don't know. I
Because the
don't
Mets,
know unless he tells me.
the Mets didn't. They always start off hot, and then the Braves always win the division. Probably not this year. Win the division. What do they do? Not much. But podcast is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you guys want to check that out, there'll be a link down below. If you're not a viewer who wants to watch on video, you want to put it on Spotify, Apple, go ahead, go down below, leave us a good rating on it as well. Give us some good reviews and save the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Ask some people for some hot takes. We don't have a ton this week, but we want, because nothing really crazy happened this week, but we want to talk about a few hot takes and get your opinions on them.
Yeah.
So the first one's from Ray Baker, and he says, Judge is the best Yankee of all time, ring or not. That's a hot take.
Yeah. But that's not a bad take. That's really not. The numbers that he's putting up are fucking crazy. I remember my rookie year coming into that team in 2017, and Judge had a 340 batting average with, I don't know, 30 plus home runs, and we're not even at the All-Star break yet, and his walkout song is playing, and it's Through the Late Night by Travis Scott. Whole stadium's going crazy. Like, quantify the best Yankee of all time however you want, whether that's statistically, whether that's he's the most fan favorite of all time. There's certain ways that you can, categorize what Judge is to the Yankees, but right now he's the best thing that they've ever fucking had. He is the best thing that city's had. He's a great role model. He's like the best baseball player I've ever seen. He's gotten better since I left the team, and the fact that he's gotten better since I left is crazy because he was fucking nails whenever I was there.
And he's not controversial.
No.
Like, he's not like getting in, like you have Shohei, it's like people are, I don't know, there's rumors about him.
There's alleged stuff.
There's a lot of alleged stuff with Shohei that you're not seeing with Aaron Judge, who is competing in these things of like the home run lead, like the amount of home runs and all that. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cool. Also, he's just a unit. He's like what, 6'5", 260 or something?
Like 6'7".
6'7", like
290, 280.
I'm way off. That's
He's
insane.
way bigger than you.
And then I think about Babe Ruth hitting a baseball and then Aaron Judge. Like,
don't even get me started on Babe Ruth hitting a baseball. Adam Ottavino said something whenever he signed with the Yankees where he would strike Babe Ruth out 10 times out of 10 times. And he really got him going. And I'm under the impression that he would strike him out 10 times out of 10 times.
Babe Ruth sees 104 mile an hour fastball go by him.
He's drunk, isn't he? Like, isn't he drunk?
Smoking cigarettes between innings.
Like, no shot, man. If Mason Miller's out there pumping 1,000, no shot. And even if he fouls one off, here comes that slider, bud. Go sit in the truck. That's what's gonna happen. So, Judge is probably, in my eyes, the best Yankee of all time currently. No doubt, currently. Of the 2000s, you have so many that played for that team, but he's the only one that I got to witness like in person, do it every day. So I'm a little biased to being his teammate and seeing what he's done, but he's deserving of everything that he's been given and accomplished.
Hopefully that ring comes soon.
Yeah, I mean, they almost got it last year. I know that's all he cares about now. He's got the contract. He wants the ring. He wants to solidify his legacy in New York. And if you do it in New York, you're going to have a fucking yacht or something, dude. You're going to have a lot of fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be good. So that's the best place to do it.
So Captain's Corner says the Yankees are capable of winning a World Series this year, as they are most years. Do you believe? I mean, we kind of talked about it earlier, but we said playoffs.
All right.
Not as much World Series.
All right. This is where we'll get into some good stuff. This is where I'm going to fucking cook. Watch me cook right here. The Yankees are capable of winning a World Series this year, and they are capable of winning it most years. We were capable of winning it almost every year that I was a part of it, but every year there was something behind the scenes or some kind of play that happened that caused us to not win it. And it's all those crucial moments that I was alluding to where decisions that you make in the season leak over to decisions that get made in the playoffs. They will not win the World Series if this fucking analytical car is driving it. They won't. And the reason that they won't win it is because they do dumbass shit that they didn't do during the regular season because they get cute and they want to make a crazy move. For instance, we're in the middle of the 2020 playoffs and we're playing the Rays, and Davy Garcia is the guy that they say is going to pitch the game. And so they do that because the Rays are another analytical team and know that they'll put a huge lineup out there that's full of left-handed hitters. Righty pitcher, left-handed hitters. We're going to get crazy. We're going to try to fool the Rays. Davy's only going to face a few batters. We're going to take him out. We're going to bring a left-handed pitcher in. They got a full left-handed lineup. We're going to shock the world. Didn't happen. We didn't happen. We'll just leave it at that. And so when that happens, as a player in the locker room, to know that we just went the entire season to get to this point and they got cute and they tried something that they didn't try during the regular season in the playoffs in a moment that's extremely crucial, and it backfires, and every player is sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just, So
Yeah.
that's why they won't win these games in the playoffs if they're doing shit like that, where these teams think that we have one crack at it. We got 3 games in a series. We got 5. We got 7. We got whatever. They get crazy and they want to do something because they think that is the best option. That's why you started seeing these openers, these bullpen arms pitch the beginnings of games, because a lot of games showed that the first time through the lineup is some of the most important at bats of the game. So they would throw the best pitchers out there so they could handle that beast right there. And then they'd bring in a guy that would be a long reliever that might throw 5-6 innings. And then you got these nasty dudes at the end of the bullpen that will close the game out. That was smart. The Rays were so smart in doing that shit. They changed the game. Other people don't know how to change the game. They know how to change the game. We'll say that, but not for the better.
So, did that apply, in your opinion, to the last year's World Series? Do you think that was one of the factors they got too cute trying to be analytical and that caused them the World Series, or just the Dodgers just were too much to beat?
I didn't watch a single inning of that.
Didn't care.
Didn't watch a single inning. I can't answer that. We can put that in there.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. Sorry, buddies. I didn't watch that shit, but I did see Joe Kelly say that matchup was too easy.
A lot of people like to hear about kind of your personal experience of stuff. Obviously, that's a big part of it. And so yesterday, there's a clip from Michael Kay on the Michael Kay Show, and Michael Kay said that the New York Yankees managing decisions are a collaboration with the entire front office, not just Aaron Boone. What do you think about that? That's kind of like what you talked about before.
It sounds like he is just reciting what I said on the first episode. So
I think he saw that.
I think he knows these things too. He knows. He sits in the booth and he's been around for a long time. And the thing about Michael Kay is, like, he becomes a voice sometimes for people that are inside the organization that want to get something out.
Yeah.
So he certainly knows that that's how things are being ran, because he's such a Yankees fan as it is that he is an inquiring mind, I would bet, and would say if he has a question for somebody, he knows the person to go to kind of get the answers. And he's not wrong, because, again, I echoed the same sentiment on the last episode, and it's just one of those things where it turns into all the heat that Boone is catching for everything that he's doing. He's just like the first dude on the front line. There's so many other, like, soldiers behind him that are a part of the war that's going on, but you only see him at the front because he's the little drummer boy that's about to get, like, killed in front of everybody.
He's taking the heat for everything.
Yeah, like, he's the guy that's, like, going to be the first one to get slugged. So ultimately it just comes down to it where, all these things that are so analytically driven in that organization become where it's not like you're playing baseball in a sense. You're kind of gambling, and that's what it feels like. Is like, it's like you're just gambling on decisions that get made from numbers and don't necessarily show up in the games, because you're hoping that the prediction that you have out in front of you is going to come to fruition, versus like, oh, that dude out there just had a bad inning and that's why it happened, versus this guy's fastball is going to line up better on this hitter's swing path because this guy swings super under the ball. Like, there's so many predetermined outcomes that show that pitchers and hitters need to be put against one another, because there's certain things that they might dominate in that area. And again, it's all metrics that Boone has probably no idea like what are going on behind the scenes. He's just being fed these numbers and told like, "Hey, bro, this guy's the guy, and we hope that if it lines up in this situation, this is who we want you to put out there." So ultimately, you're gonna do that.
Episode 1 came out last week, and like we talked about before, we weren't expecting a ton. I would say we expect a little bit, but not like this. The episode probably get 15,000 views in the next couple of days.
Sorry about it.
And it's gonna be up there. So there's been a lot of responses, people tweeting. We're trying to get clips out there. We're getting switched on TikTok,
I'm
YouTube
working on
Shorts.
TikTok.
You've had some people reach out though,
We've had, you're talking about,
like players reach out.
oh, players, yeah. We've had companies too. That's what I thought.
Oh, companies. You guys might see some sponsors
And
coming up
networks.
to support
Yeah.
the boys.
I have had players, current and past Yankees players, texted me about or messaged me about the last episode. Something along the lines of "This is so true." Multiple people like essentially saying, "Wow, good for you." Like that's bold, you know. So I'm not here to tell names, but there are people that do agree with me. We did allude to Michael K. agreed with something that I said. Maybe he didn't see what I said, but he said the same thing. So subconsciously, we're both on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
A lot of fans are questioning things. I'm here to try to give my own perspective of what I saw or what I felt was happening behind those scenes. And it feels like there's a lot of people that feel the same way. So part of this podcast will be to dive into the things that people all think are happening. And if I do know if they're happening, then we'll touch on it.
And there will be you're going to have some former players on the show for sure. Probably not any current players from the Yankees.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Probably
Don't
not.
think that would happen. The media topic was pretty popular last week. Just with the whole situation around the Yankees locker room with the media and everything. I don't know. I feel like that was something we talked about a little bit, is how hectic it got in there. And like, have you seen anything from that after that episode?
I saw a bunch of people. I saw people from the media. Now, what their exact position was, I don't know. In their bio, it was something right from
Reporter.
this person. I don't know. A couple of them saying, like, as the media, they need to be better to create the environment for players to feel ultimately like they can tell you who they actually are and be who they actually are on camera, because you do see a lot of players be super vanilla or go something along the lines of "this is what happened," even though they might not feel like that's what happened. They say it so they can diffuse the situation and not create a story. So that goes with what they teach you. Whenever I did say that they have under 3 years of service time, you're doing the media training, so they do teach you ways to be super boring. I didn't listen to any of those ways. I thought that was going to be a handicap a little bit to allowing people to know who I was, and maybe I got taken advantage of by certain individuals out there that slobbering all over their keyboard,
We're
writing
getting
the
less
stories.
views
Yeah.
than what we're getting already.
So certain people coming at me. But one thing I told Harrison was the media in the Yankees locker room is way different than any other locker room. It's a block party, like I said. Especially whenever you get Sunday night baseball games, you got 5,000 people in BP on the sidelines just dapping you up. Hey Clint, like, can I get a cameo? Some bullshit like that. Just saying, hey man, like, just let me get you for 5 seconds. Like, dude, I got a meeting to figure out what Chris Sale's gonna throw to me in 15 minutes, bro. Kick rocks. So they're everywhere. It's a jungle. There's blood in the water everywhere. So I feel like from my own personal experience with that team that they do need to have different rules for that team, because the media access is too much. There's too many opportunities for them to write stories, for them to be in the players' faces, for them to just be constantly breathing down their necks to get the information that they need, just so they can go on Twitter and stir it up. So I don't know. I think that's a big part of playing in New York, as I alluded to, is you have to be able to fight that dragon, and that dragon breathes hot fire. And so you're gonna get burned a few times, but as long as you can fan the fire, you'll be all right.
Do you think you
No,
made it out all right?
no. Third degree burns.
I never really saw clips of you back then, but we filmed our video of your shoe collection. I went back and was finding some clips, and there are some clips of you in that locker room. You're just like, not, I could just see like, I don't want to be here.
Bro,
I don't want to talk right now.
miserable. People, the same people. I saw everything they wrote about me because I got tagged in everything. People knew that there was one motherfucker on the team that was going to chirp back, and it was going to be me. So either I self-looked that stuff up and found the article because I knew that guy backed me in the corner and asked me a stupid ass question and I wanted to see what he had to say, or I got tagged in it. And I was very aware of what these motherfuckers were saying about me because it was a tug of war. It was a tug of war battle between the both of us where they were trying to create this image of me that maybe wasn't true because they felt a personal way about me. So I had to do a lot of media damage in, or like media control damage or damage control, however you say it, in 2020, where people basically were saying Kaylee tamed New York's bad boy. I was New York's bad boy, and I was like, what? Doing what? Doing what? Like, because Randy said that I have a bad attitude, I'm a bad boy? Like, so it was confusing. It certainly became national stories. I had a lot of people come up to me and tell me that I was a lot different than they thought that I would be based off the videos or the clips that they had read or the articles that they had read. So those kind of things are disappointing to hear. But, you live and you learn and you fight that dragon another day.
So I don't know if this is something you would know. Like, majority of players in the locker room, like let's say when you're playing, are like most of them controlling your own social media, going online and looking at this stuff, or is there players that are like block themselves out? Because obviously you didn't block yourself out from looking at that stuff. Do you think most people are not looking, or everybody's just like got their eyes on it?
Everybody sees it.
Everybody sees it.
You see it. You feel it. If you don't see it, you'll see it.
It'll be on a newsstand as you walk by to go get a bagel in the morning.
Bro, you can't even like log on to your wife can't log on to Instagram. Your friends can't log on. Anyone that they see has like more access to you than you themselves is gonna get that message. Cause they look at the people that you're friends with and they see 500 followers. This guy's definitely gonna see what I have to say.
Yeah.
And then that message is going to be sent to me through a DM from my friend being like, bro, look at this message I got. Appreciate you like sending me that. Appreciate it. Like, shout out. That's good for my psyche. 15 minutes I'm going on the stage thinking about that tweet.
I mean, I guess that applies to like a lot of teams because like, again, taking it back, Freddie Freeman, when he got traded, I'm sure his friends, everyone's just getting bombarded. How could you leave the Braves? So like, but New York,
different.
It's got to be one of the top.
It's different. You guys are passionate. You guys love it. If you're on the right side of it, you're a fucking king. If you're on the other side of it, you got 15 minutes left in your life, it feels like.
And how quick that could switch.
Oh my God. I mean, I was on the good, I was on the bad side. I poked the bear a lot. I created a lot of stories that maybe shouldn't have been created just because I was annoyed at something that might have been happening where I was handicapped in a way to say something, so maybe I could cryptically tweet something. I used to send a lot of one-word tweets or something that was timed up with a certain instance, like the trade deadline talks and some funny gifs every now and then just to kind of make people know, like I'm seeing these things, I'm living this right now, and I'm not happy about it. And I can't say anything yet, so we'll wait till life after the show to say something about it.
So it's time for Clint's Reacts, where Clint's going to react to a couple of viral clips from this week. And the Yankees were a focus of a lot of these clips this week.
They were in there.
They're in a couple of them. There's some that aren't just the Yankees. But the first one is going to be people saying Jazz Chisholm is cheating because of this clip here. So we're going to go ahead and watch it and see what happens. He was on second base, and he makes a signal just like that with the circle.
Okay.
And you would see he might be tipping a pitch off, and right down the middle, takes it, strikes out. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, again, this was an off-camera conversation, and I'm going to tell it exactly how it was off-camera. I don't think, like, Jazz is not cheating. I would never say what Jazz is doing is cheating because he knows what's being thrown, clearly probably either from the catcher or there's something that the pitcher's doing. But again, being somebody that sits in those hitters meetings that you have every single day, and I was telling you they have people or a person that will come into the meeting and basically if there's like a tell, if the pitcher has something that they're doing where you can steal the sign from them, he's going to notify you what it is. You have the ability to accept that information or close your ears because it gets real muddy sometimes because ultimately, like, just let's just be super frank about it. Sometimes the pitcher will have his hands maybe positioned below the number on his jersey, so you can tell that when he's above the number on his jersey, this pitch is being thrown. Or when he's below it, this pitch is being thrown. Or even to the extent of when this guy comes set and he takes a deep breath, like fastball, even to the point of hearing that when this certain individual licks his lips before he throws, it's X amount of percentage of the time a fastball. So they'll get deep down the rabbit hole with looking at certain things to see if they can get an advantage. So I don't think Jazz is cheating. I think Jazz is using a resource that's being allowed to be given to him because there is the rule that you can't use iPads or like electronics in real time to decipher stuff, but you can use it from previous games and bring it in. So all these things that they're using are just, hey, if this guy comes in, unless he's changed something about his pitching delivery or something, this is the pitch. So they'll relay it, and ultimately it's up to the hitter or the guy on second base to decide, like, do you want to be a part of that scheme that's being thrown out there? Because it happens so fast, bro. You'll be in the batter's box, and as you saw, like, he draws like a circle, like, right before that pitcher's about to throw it. So it does kind of,
Probably mess with his mind. Like,
bro,
what do
I
I
couldn't
need?
even remember half the ones. Like, I wanted to be a part of those schemes, but I would be in the box and get them backwards. So then it just becomes, I don't know what the fuck is being thrown my direction. I got to the point where I would like,
Ignore him.
I would look away.
Yeah.
Or I would exit and you can't hear it because if it gets into my ear and I'm in the box and maybe it's a tough at bat and I'm searching for something and then I think in the back of my head, wait a minute, is the glove this way, that way for the fastball? And then strike three. I'm walking back to the dugout pissed as fuck because that guy came from the attic down and put that info in my head and now I struck out because I can't remember what it was.
Because, like, for Jazz's situation, it's not cheating because he's not being, like, fed that information by somebody outside of the game.
100%.
Like, they're not telling him, like, hey, this is going to be a fastball. They're not, it's not that way of, like, what the Astros situation was a couple years ago and what they're accused of and all that. It's like he just saw something and he's like, this was a thing. And it looks like it kind of messed the batter up more than it helped him just by going, yeah. Now, I don't know what this means. Is it maybe they know, like, fastball? Like, do you have any idea what that means? Or you're just like, something they probably have discussed?
Each team will do something where they discuss in their hitters meeting where if they do something, it means something. And if they lead with this hand or they touch their helmet or, you know, something along the lines of, hey, I have the signs. Do you want them? If you do, usually it's like a hand signal, but this is probably something along the lines of like, he's about to lollipop something or may I don't know. Like
That's
the way,
so obvious. So it's not like a.
but he wasn't
typical
hiding
cat.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He's
wasn't at all. That's the thing. So that one was a little.
I've
That's
never seen it that blatant before.
that was like that was out there. There was no like. I gotta stop saying that word. I'm working on it, guys.
we heard the feedback on that.
We did. We're working on like there was no hiding that. That was blatantly obvious. Almost to the point of if you have another game in the series and this guy comes back in, it's no doubt he's gonna have fixed whatever you already have.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helped.
The next clip is of the Yankees cop. This is the cop sitting there, and this tweet went pretty big. 93,000 likes, which has what 7.3 million views.
Jesus.
Is this by the? Is this in the concourse?
Yeah.
It's in the concourse.
Standing next to Paul O'Neill's retired number.
And so he's just sitting there and watch. This girl walks by, just blatant, just
look at his lips almost.
That's like the fact that the camera was on him when that happened. Have you ever seen that cop before? Like, do you know him or anything? Or
Oh, no.
No, just some random cop.
No.
This guy just blatant. That 93,000 likes. I wonder what he's going through his head after that clip goes viral.
That's so good. Because you know if he's in a relationship with anybody, they're sitting there thinking this motherfucker.
And one of the top responses, this is literally all a New York Police Department do when they see them hanging in the streets.
The cameraman.
Meanwhile, the cameraman.
Yeah, that's great.
Uh,
That's really good. That's really good. Good for that guy. He had his 15 seconds or 15 minutes of fame.
all right, so let's get your next reaction. We'll get a live reaction. You might have seen this, but this is your live reaction. This is outside of the Yankees. This is my team. This is for the Braves. Jurickson Profar, he's back from suspension. And this catch right here, people are saying it might be the catch of the year. This thing's pretty crazy out in left field.
That's nuts.
What do you think about that?
That's nuts.
That's pretty clean.
I would have been on the 60-day IL after that.
Jumps high, grabs it. So people are saying that might be the catch of the year. I think that's a pretty solid clip.
Look at Matt Olson's reaction, too.
He's been good for the Braves. I mean, it was a weird thing when he came on and they got suspended immediately for 80 days, but we got a good outfield. Him and then Michael Harris is pretty solid with some catches, but
That was crazy.
goes up, tracks the ball.
That's crazy.
That's a hard catch. We say out of 10, how hard of a catch is that?
10.
10 out of 10?
10. Look at everyone's reaction.
The pitcher's like, you just saved my life.
A lot. Oh yeah. Look at Matt. He's throwing his hands up. Look at that. Look at Blake Yarbrough.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's so good.
All right.
Ozuna.
The next one is just to get your thoughts on. So Jen Powell she's the first female umpire to be behind home plate. The game before this, she was the first female umpire to be an umpire in the game. I think she played third base, or I don't know exactly what it is. But then the next game, this is again at the Braves. First pitch of the game. This is the how it went. So this is the first pitch right here. This is how it went right here. The long wind up, boom. Maybe 3-4 inches in.
Shocker.
Was not good. So you told me you've played with her before.
I've shared the field with her multiple
in
times.
AAA.
Yeah,
in AAA.
With the White Sox AAA. It was like that.
It was like that.
It was like that.
So she's now back to the minors. It was like a week stint. I think the rest of the game, I don't know, this could be wrong, but I think it was like her accuracy was like 91% for that game. There's a few more missed calls. History was made. That first pitch was kind of crazy.
That first pitch sucked. But that's umpiring as a whole right there. So, like, she's fit to be an umpire if that's the strike zone that they're going to call.
Which, this has brought up the conversation again, which we talked about last episode of the ABS system. You know, we're all for it, and
it's going to be electric, guys.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so sick to see that 3,000-foot TV screen up in the outfield showing to the exact spot where that pitch is going. You get to turn around, look at that umpire, and think like, yeah, you fucking thought, dude.
Think about tennis. When you watch tennis, you see when they zoom in on a ball that they call in, and it's like a micro, like the smallest amount, but it was in.
It was in.
All down to the computers.
But that's the thing. Again, we're being so, like, we're watching sports transition so much into, like, electronic-based games where the human eye can't decide half of these decisions because things are happening so fast and so quick for the human eye to recognize that. I mean, I know that's a ball, and that hitter knew that was a ball, and everyone in that fucking stadium knew that was a ball except one person. So we can work on that. That's why the ABS system's coming into play, and it's going to be fucking electric. They need to hand out awards at the end of the season for the person that has the best challenging system, and I can tell you this, too. I mean, here's the flip side. Let's talk about this for a half second. Like, when the ABS system was being integrated into AAA baseball, they had stat sheets that showed the best percentages to challenge. Don't do it in the first inning. Don't do it in the second. The pitcher shouldn't be challenging from the pitcher's mound. Like, leave majority of the decisions up to the catcher. This is the counts that ultimately you might win the most decisions. And it comes down to this ball hasn't even been fucking thrown yet. And we're trying to tell hitters that this is the right time to do it. Matter of fact, to remember that in these counts that this is your best opportunity to challenge it, which again, you only get 3 a game. Some of these motherfuckers just don't care, and they'll be the first, third, fourth pitch of the game, and they're going straight to the top, going up to the scoreboard. You're wrong, bud. You got 2 left, and you're sitting in the dugout thinking,
hey, it may change things. And I mean, for me, like when I saw that didn't know anything about her. I was like, it's cool making the debut, first one behind the plate. My first thought was though, it needs to go smooth because it's gonna be over scrutinized if she gets it wrong, whatever. And that's where it was like in my head when this happened. I was like, that's like the worst thing that can happen in that scenario because everyone's gonna be hypercritical because they're like, this is the first one to come out here, and then the way that it happens, like if it was a perfect first pitch, but it's like you can't make that up that was the first pitch and it was off by that much. Maybe it's nerves. It's a spotlight on her. She went on and I apparently had a pretty decent rest of the game. I don't know, 91%. I don't know how that cues up as good or not. I know there's an error, a margin of error, but yeah. So let's go. So the last clip of this, we got some more clips, but this is gonna be the last clip that I'll show you. It's Shohei Ohtani. This is one that again went pretty viral. This is a check swing by Ohtani against the Blue Jays, one of the top teams. And so here it is. We're gonna play it. Boom. From the front, it doesn't look as bad, but when it gets to the side angle, they called it safe. They're going crazy.
Yeah, Snyder's pissed. He's full fucking swing.
Let's check this out. Side view right here.
Yeah.
Full swing.
Yeah, full swing.
And in this scenario right here, this was bases loaded. Dodgers down by 1, and it's 0-1 right there. And
the best player to ever play the game gets a call like that. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. The next one that you leave in the strike zone is going to be hitting to a new stratosphere. That's fucked up. That's how episode 2 is going to go. We covered an allotment of topics. Kind of recapped on some things that we discussed in episode 1 that caught a lot of traction. There's still things that we can talk about from that episode in future episodes because there's so much that I haven't even gotten to speak about. But ultimately, episode 2 is in the books. I think it went well. I think 3 is going to definitely be better once we're getting the hang of these things. That's what I'm aiming for each episode, to get better, to be able to be what the fans want to hear. So if there's things that you want in episode 3 to be...
Downtown goes Frazier!